March. Do you see any evidence in UK policy of thinking about, or at least beginning to experiment with, the herd immunity idea?
Well, I think the government actually did discuss this quite openly as well in early March and said this was the reason why they were abandoning containment, that actually we had to move towards mitigation, which is that it runs through when we try to build enough hospitals to process everyone who's ill. We've seen that actually it's quite a dangerous strategy to take, and this is why the UK probably locked down much later than other countries.
Much later than it should have done if it wanted to save lives.
Yes, I mean, what's clear is if you want to contain the virus, you move fast, you move early, you move quickly, and you move aggressively. And when your numbers are low enough, then you can test and you can trace and you try to drive this virus to the margins of society. And that's what the UK is trying to do now with the lockdown and moving towards testing and tracing. But if we're able to do this at the start, before the numbers started taking off and into, the hundreds of thousands of cases, then it's an easier situation. And so in March, I think this lack of clarity on the strategy that was being pursued led to the situation where we're kind of between a rock and a hard place. And right now we've taken the economic hit as well as the health hit.
I've lost count of the number of people who think they're clever, who say, well, in the end, the only way you can fight these things is herd immunity. Is that true?
Well, I think the basic premise is correct in that either you have eradication of the virus, like smallpox and polio, or everybody gets it and it becomes endemic through some kind of immunity. The question is, how do you acquire that immunity? Is it through a vaccine, like what we have for measles and mumps and rubella, or is it through a treatment, so you make COVID a mild illness? But to do this in the absence of a treatment or a vaccine is really a Darwinian policy of whoever makes it, and that was going to mean that a lot of elderly people are going to die, as well as those who will have comorbidities like diabetes or heart conditions and other risk factors. And this, for me, is just unacceptable. If anything, we should be valuing our elderly. These are the wise members of the community. That's why we have a group called The Elders, founded by Nelson Mandela.
Okay, Dr. Sridhar, we're going to have to leave it